this is Noreen from JoyaCards.com and welcome to my video. Hey, we are going to be doing a Hexagon DS paper layering technique. And this is really cool because I have all this paper from like the mini catalog. It's the January to April mini catalog. And this one's Regency Park. And it is really a neat paper. And it is going away at the end of April. So I wanted to go ahead and use it. So what I'm also going to be using is something fancy, which is also from the mini catalog. Now, if they discontinue this, I will be putting it on my JoyaCards.com website under shop and shop Joya Cards and under retireds. But I hope they don't, because these are great sentiment tags and these are great sentiments. So these are the things I'm going to be featuring. So let's get to the card. So we're going to start with the inside. This is a petal pink base, is 5.5 by 4.25. Oh, all the dimensions, all the items that I'm using for the card is in the description of the video. Also, anything that you see that is not Stampin' Up is also in there. I'm an Amazon affiliate, just helps me with my videos and take money away from Jeff Bezos, which is good. So like the folders, I put my dies in, the dies, my class, everything. Anyway, so the inside of the card, I've already got this layered up with Night of Navy and Petal Pink. Night of Navy is 5.25 by 4 and Petal Pink is 5 by 3.75. Then we're going to take our white, which is 3.5 by 4.75, and this die from something fancy, and I'm going to put it on my piece here. I'm going to take a piece of my delicate frog tape, which is awesome, which is also on my Amazon affiliate list, and I'm going to tape it down, and I'm going to cut this out. So I cut out the flower in my basic white, and then I also took the die, cut it in shaded spruce for the leaves and petal pink for the flower. Now I almost thought about not putting an inlay flower here, but it looks better with it. So go ahead and flip these over and snail them on in. And that's the inside of the card. Now let's talk about this pattern here. Now this paper, this Regency Park, there's all kinds of ways that you can pick a pattern. Now, this card, I picked these two colors, and for this one, we're going to do a different one. We're going to use that pattern in this one, but I could have done like this with this one. And the reason why I didn't, because I thought the flowers were just too big and I wanted them smaller so they can be seen more when I cut something that small. The same with this one and this pattern, but that'd be really pretty too. This one would be good because you're always going to get that sweet sorbet. And you can tell all the colors because they're on the back of your sheet here. And then also we've got this one and this one. Or we could do that one. Or this one and this one. I mean, there's so many ways you can do this. And like I said, this goes away at the end of April. So, you know, get it while you can. So we're going to take these two patterns and we're going to use a 5.5 by 4.25 white. You can really use any color you want. And you're probably asking, since I'm not cutting this down, why aren't I using a 4 by 5.25? And that's because when I was lining these up originally, I had a harder time with the smaller piece and a better time with this. And we're going to be cutting off the ends and we're going to be cutting these down anyway. So I thought, let's just go ahead and make it easy. So 5.5 by 4.25. And since we are cutting our hexagon piece down, I do like to always back it. So here's a Night of Navy, and this is 4.125 by 5 3/8. And we're going to go ahead and put it on the card because it won't interfere with that ribbon. So just stick it on in the middle. We're also going to take these three dies here, and we're going to cut one in Night of Navy, Petal Pink, and Basic White. And in Night of Navy, stamp the thank you right here. Now just take that Petal Pink and you can snail it right on top of the Night of Navy. Now take the smallest die here and cut it out in foam adhesive sheets. Now normally I put the paper on and then cut it, but this is such a easy shape that I'm going to go ahead and put that on. So I'm taking off the foam adhesive sheet, and I'm going to grab our piece here and line it up and put it on. And it'll look like that. Now we're going to put this to the side. Next is the fun part. We're going to take the hexagon shape from the something fancy, and we are going to cut out our pieces. Now you want one, a busy one, and one, a simple one, like I've done with these. So one is a flower, one's a stripe, this is a flower, this is a dot. And this is a very interesting die because it'll play tricks with your eyes. I want you to take a piece of tape. I use my delicate frog tape here, and I put it on the top right corner of the die. Now this is facing this particular direction, not this direction. I have it going this direction. And when you're cutting all these pieces with a lot of pattern, you can, you know, like I said, it'll play tricks on your eyes. So put a piece of tape there, and when you're cutting, cut the same, cut it the same direction, especially if you're doing stripes. You got to make sure this is going like this and not this. So just go ahead and cut it that way. So every time you cut these, make sure that's in the upper right hand corner. Now you're going to cut in the flower pattern, you're going to cut 15 of these pieces. And then in your striped or the dots, you're going to cut 20 of these. And we're going to overfill this. We're going to cut off the excess. And then in the end, we're going to decide where to cut it down to 4 by 5.25. When you have all your pieces cut out, take a minute and put them all the same direction, because we don't want it to throw off your pattern here. So like I said, it'll play tricks on your eyes. So line them all up, and I've just put them on my silicone craft sheet right at the, you know, at the edge there. So I know they're going one direction here, so I'm not mixing anything up. So now we're going to take the flowered piece first, and I'm going to put tape just on the bottom part of it, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this point here. Now, always know, you can see the tape right here. I'm always going this direction. I'm going to take this piece, and I'm going to line up this corner here. Remember, it's going this direction. You can see my die here with the little piece of tape. This corner here and this corner down here on the paper. So I'm going to take this corner here and this corner here. So just like that. So if you had the die, it's this one and this one. And we're putting it on the edge like that. And now we're going to take another flowered one. I'm just going to do the bottom because we're just going to cut that off. And I'm going to do the same thing. The far right corner and the far left corner like that. And then we're going to take another flowered one. And I'm going to put it in the middle. Now there will be a tiny little gap, and that's okay, because that's going to get cut off anyway. So that should be your first row. Now we're going to do the second row. And I'm going to start in the middle here, and I'm going to line up these points and the top to the one above it. So it'll look like that. And try to make it straight. So if you have to reposition it, go for it. And that's why I always like to use tape, because I can reposition things better than glue without, you know, destroying what was underneath. Now I'm going to take another one, nail the whole thing, and do the same over here, just right in the middle, and line them up like that. I'm going to take another one, and I'm going to go over here, and I'm going off the page. So I'm going to grab another silicone craft sheet because there's tape there, and I don't want it to stick to my glass. And I'm going to take another one here, and I'm going to do over on the other side, just like so. Now the third row, I'm just going to keep layering it. I am going to start in the middle here and kind of line it up with the one above it. I'm lining up the edges here to the one above it. So those angles to the flat right here. So I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video, and you can watch me layer this. here's the layered piece, and you can see how much I've gone over. Also on the bottom, there's a little bit of gap, but that's okay because we're going to cut it off anyway. So, but what I want you to do now is take a pair of scissors, or you can put it on your cutter if you're brave enough, and cut off the excess. Now we're going to take this piece and we're going to make it a 4 by 5 1/4. Now I've got some white down here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of this off. Now that's 5 1/4. Now I'm going to decide which side I'm going to do. Now you could take it from both sides, that's fine as well. And I'm going to make this a 4, and I'm going to take a little off of both, I think. I'm going to go 4 1/8 and then look at it, decide what I want to do, and I'm going to go ahead and take this side down to 4. So now I'm 4 by 5 1/4. Now I'm taking that Night of Navy and Petal Pink, and I'm going to put it in the middle first. Then I'm going to snail up the Night of Navy border ribbon, and I'm going to put it on top of it and flip it over and snail it down to the back like so. Take the backing off of your thank you here and put it in the middle, and then put it on the card, and that's it. Now I do sell my cards on my website, so if you like this card, go to joyofcards.com and then shop Joy of Cards and buy cards, and you can go ahead and buy my cards. So that is the card, 2 different patterns. So I hope you like it, and like me, like and subscribe and do all that other stuff, and that'll do it for me. Thanks. Bye.